Alright, hello, welcome to my season finale. Welcome to my season finale religious life video blog. And it's gonna be cool. It's the third Sunday after Pentecost, and glad you did. So, here's my purpose that we accomplished this. So, and you know why? Because it pays to be nice to people. So who knows? Anyways, let's wrap this up with a big season finale bang with this from Mark chapter 3, verses 20 and 20 all the way up to 35. And it says, and the crowd came again. Hey, let's see. Oh yes, try it again. Take two. Anyways, let's start with Mark chapter 3, verses 20 all the way up to 35. And you know what I mean? It's oh boy, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, and the crowd came together again, so that they could not even eat when his family heard it, and they went out of you-know-who to restrain him. And for the people were saying he has gone out of his mind. And the scribes who came down to Jerusalem and said he has Beelzebul, or should we say Beelzebub? Yes. It sounds like Queen. Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, going on. And by the ruler of the demons he had cast out demons. And he called them to him and spoke to them in parables. How can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, that house will not be able to stand. And if Satan has risen up again, you know, against himself, and is divided, and he cannot stand, but his end has come. But no one can enter a strong man's house and plunder his property without first tying up the strong man. Then indeed the house can be plundered. Truly I tell you, the people will be forgiven for their sins and whatever blasphemies they utter. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit can never have forgiveness, but is guilty of an eternal sins. For they had said he has an unclean spirit. And it goes on, verse 31 says, then his mother and his brothers came, and standing outside, they sent to him and called him. A crowd was sitting around him, and they said to him, your mother and your brothers and sisters are outside asking for you. And he replied, who are my mother and my brothers? And looking at those who sat around him, and he said, here are my mother and my brothers. Whoever does the will of God is my brother and my sister, and mother. Okay, let's analyze this. And here's why. How it sounds about this one, because it makes a perfect sense about this one. And now let's talk about this one. Let's analyze this. Could be a redefined definition of family. You know, because here's why. Because Mark sets the Beelzebub controversial two-part stories, and it makes a perfect sense about the story of Jesus' family. Now, these episodes, I mean, seriously, these episodes has been interpreted one from another, and it raising the inseparable questions of Jesus' identity. And what about the nature of his followers? Well, you guessed it. Jesus was being popular with the whole crowd, but his behavior broke acceptable conventions, so that his family regarded him as mentally deranged. What? Mentally deranged? Oh, hello. Well, here's why I don't even. Here's why it's going backwards. And here's when I'm going backwards. And I have no clue. Here's why I have no clue whatsoever. But you don't have to take my word for it, but you know what that means. So there, for their part, the teachers of the law accuses him of having an evil spirit, of being and of being in this collusion with Beelzebub. Well, wait a minute. You might think So Smart sounds like Queen. Oh yeah, that's right, Bohemian Rhapsody. But I have no objection whatsoever. So, in having in this response, here's why. Jesus plays on incredibly about the phrase, his end has come. So that means he cannot be in league with Satan. For this reason, it would be self-defeating for Satan, and Satan would be rendered impotent. Moreover, one is possessed. One who is possessed, that means the lesser, and it cannot conquer his or hers possessor. That could be the greater. But in fact, Jesus claims that his ministry is one of tying up of the strong man and robbing his house. What would you do if you rob a bank? Or what do you do if you rob a grocery store? Rob some groceries or anything else can be civilized about this one. And don't ask me why, I have no clue whatsoever. So who knows? Anyways, but you might think it's so strange, but here's one of those things. According to Mark chapter 30 says, for this reason, the teachers of the law, in rejecting you know what that means, the rejecting of the work of Jesus is as a demonic activity. but you had to check this out on Mark chapter 1 verse 10 says, and anyone's trying to deny the power and the work of the Holy Spirit. Here's your example on let's see, Mark chapter 1 verse 10. It says, and just as he was coming out of the water, he saw the heavens torn apart and the Spirit descending like a dove on him. Makes perfect sense? I hope you do. Now, to wrap things up, because you know the true kindred of Jesus, and you might think it's so smart about his mother and father, your father and brothers and sisters, or your siblings out there. So here's the bottom line about this. The bottom line, as we wrap this up for the season finale of segment of my religious life video blog, is this. Because after Jesus arrives, Jesus' family has been arrived, that only one note is this: the unmistakable contrast between those who are outside and those who are inside and sitting around him. And you know why? Because the moral of my political life, the moral of my season finale religious life video blog story is this. Clearly, Jesus' family tried to embrace his disciples, but whoever extends this a whole circle of family to be include obedient persons in every generation, and it comes to this way for this third Sunday after Pentecost. It really makes sense. Totally. Anyways, that's my religious life season finale video blog story, and I'm sticking to it.